Student friends, in yesterday's lecture we studied about the Colpitts oscillator, which is one of the radio frequency oscillator containing LC tank circuit. At resonance, by satisfying the Barkhausen criteria, the maximum frequency is going to be generated in the form of sine wave. After studying the piezoelectric oscillator, a new oscillator we are going to study, and that is known as a crystal oscillator or Paris crystal oscillator. So to study that Paris crystal oscillator, one has to go for what do you mean by crystal? That is, prior to studying the Paris crystal oscillator, we are interested to study the meaning of crystal and its equivalent circuit. How the crystal is capable to resonate at a particular frequency. And if it is going to be resonating at a particular frequency, it must be possessing some resonating component like inductance, capacitors, may be connected in series or may be connected in parallel. Then and then only the resonance is possible. So by considering that aspect, today we are going to discuss with the meaning of piezoelectric crystal and its equivalent circuit. By studying this, directly we are going to connect this particular crystal either in Hartley oscillator or Colpitts oscillator. Already we have studied. The resulting circuit will be that of Paris crystal oscillator. So let us begin to study with piezoelectric crystal and its equivalent circuit. Dear students, there are naturally available certain crystals. Maybe it is a quartz crystal, maybe it is a Rochelle salt, maybe it is a tourmaline crystal. They have a property, and that property is that when we apply the mechanical force or mechanical pressure across its two phases, it undergoes deformation and generates electrical charges across the opposite phases. And this process of generating the electrical charges by applying the mechanical force is known as piezoelectric effect. And the crystals so behaving are called as piezoelectric crystals. Maybe it is a Rochelle salt, maybe it is a quartz crystal, or maybe it is a tourmaline salt. All these crystals behaves like this. Means if you apply the mechanical force across the two phases of the crystal, then electrical charges are going to be get generated to the opposite phases of the crystal. This crystal have another property also, and that is when you apply electrical voltage across two phases, then it generates the mechanical oscillations across the opposite phases. This is opposite to that of the previous one, and that's why this effect is known as anti-piezoelectric effect. Means the piezoelectric crystal possesses both the properties. Which are those properties? The first property is that if you apply the mechanical force across the two phases, across the opposite phases, the electrical charges are going to be get generated. This is known as the piezoelectric effect. Another one is that if you apply The electrical voltage across two phases, exactly opposite to that, it generates the mechanical vibrations. It is known as anti-piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric effect used in Pierce crystal oscillator, whereas anti-piezoelectric effect is used in magnetostriction oscillator to generate the mechanical waves, especially the ultrasonic waves. So by using magnetostriction oscillatory circuit, one can convert electrical oscillation into mechanical oscillations, and those are especially ultrasonic waves. In short, anti-piezoelectric is used in to generate the ultrasonic waves, whereas the piezoelectric effect is used in Pierce crystal oscillator to generate the electrical oscillations. These crystals are naturally available, so that's why this crystal possesses the electrical axis, magnetic axis, and also the optical axis. We have to apply the mechanical force across the mechanical axis, and they are going to generate the electrical charges across the electrical axis. Or you have to apply the electrical voltage across the electrical axis, and then they produces the mechanical vibrations across the mechanical axis. Optical axis is used to behave or to give the optical properties which we have studied in physics. You have used the quartz crystal to generate the prism, quartz prism. That is going to give the optical properties. So that's why the optical axis is maintained. Now to undergo either piezoelectric crystal or to behave like anti-piezoelectric property, the crystal should be cut in a proper manner. If you take a crystal cut in a x-plane, if you take crystal cut in xy plane, so that is called as z-cut crystal. If you take crystal cut in yz plane, it is called as a x-cut crystal. And if you take crystal cut in xz plane, it is called as a y-cut crystal. Friends, we have known the three axes, x, y and z axis. By using those particular axes, for x-cut crystal, cut is in yz plane. For y-cut crystal, it is cut in xz plane. For z-cut crystal, it is cut in xy plane. So that crystal, if you cut it properly, it starts behaving like LCR circuit, either in parallel or in series. So that LCR circuit, the behavior of crystal like LCR circuit is known as its equivalent circuit. That equivalent circuit is represented here. Look at here. This is the crystal which is represented, that undergoing the piezoelectric effect or that undergoing the anti-piezoelectric effect, which we have already studied. This is equivalent with this particular equivalent circuit. It is known as its LCR equivalent circuit. What it makes to make it equivalent? That is, equivalent circuit is same as that of combination of L, C and R in series. Look it. This will work to act as LCR series resonating circuitry. Whereas it also acts as parallel resonating circuitry by behaving this as a LR circuit, whereas this one capacitor in parallel to this particular circuit. Means both the behavior, it is possible for this particular equivalent circuit. So that's why it is equivalent circuit and it is the crystal symbol. cut in a proper way. So that's why we can say this crystal cut equivalent circuit behaves like LCR series as well as LCR parallel circuit. When resonance occurs for series aspect, the change in reactance of that particular circuit or crystal changes like this. Look at here. And here is the resonance that occurs. That is for series resonance. But for parallel resonance, the reactance starts decreasing. And here that resonance occurs. So this is represented omega p is equal to 2 pi Fe, that is a parallel resonating concept, whereas on this side there is a representation of series resonance concept. So this curve, it is possible for the series LCR circuit, whereas this one, it is possible for this behaves as a LR, and to that there is a capacitor Cp which is connected in parallel. So under that case, the resulting curve will be like this. Friends, we are already studied series resonance and parallel LCR resonance in BSc part first, paper number 1. And we know when the impedances of series resonance circuit becomes 0, at that particular condition, it undergo resonance with the maximum frequency. Same is true with that of the parallel LCR resonance circuit. One is going to act as a accepting circuitry, another is going to act as a rejecting circuitries. So thus we can say this is the equivalent circuit of the crystal which is cut in a proper manner, that undergoing the piezoelectric effect and also the anti-piezoelectric effect condition. So this is what the equivalent aspect of the piezoelectric crystal. Maybe it is a Rochelle salt, maybe it is a quartz crystal, or maybe it is a tourmaline type of the crystal. Now let us see how it undergoes the series resonance and parallel resonance to produce the maximum frequency in the circuit. From this circuit, at series resonance, we have considered the left part of that particular equivalent circuit, and that is going to be considered for the series resonating concept. For a series resonance concept, we know that its impedance becomes 0. The impedance of that particular circuitry is omega SL minus 1 upon omega S into CS. S for series, try to remember. That's equal to 0. So this is the impedance of LCR series resonance circuit. By simplifying this, we can write it omega SL equal to 1 upon omega S into CS. This omega S is transferred to the left side so that it becomes a square. Omega square S is equal to 1 upon L into CS. By taking the square root on the both side, we can get omega S is equal to 1 upon square root of LCS. Try to remember, S is only for symbol representing series resonance. But omega S is equal to 2 pi Fs. Fs is the series resonating frequency. Therefore, the equation becomes 2 pi Fs equal to 1 upon root of LCS. Therefore, Fs equal to transferring 2 pi to the right side so as to get 1 upon 2 pi square root of L into CS. In general, if you may replace CS by means of an capacitor C, which you have connected in the respective tank circuit. So this is the formula for the series resonance circuitry as far as when crystal starts resonating, its impedance, series impedance becomes equal to 0. So this is how the crystal behaves as a series resonating circuitry by considering its equivalent circuit aspect. Now friends, The right arm of the series resonance circuit at this frequency is purely act as inductive circuit. That means this type of frequency it is possible for us to generate only if the crystal behaves like an inductive circuit. Means you have to connect this crystal as a part of the tank circuit as an inductor. When you connect this crystal in place of inductance, then because it undergoes the series resonance only when it is going to act as an inductive circuit. This frequency is going to be generated only when the right part it is going to act as a purely inductive circuit. Means especially in Hartley oscillator, if that inductance, in Colpitts oscillator, if you replace that inductance by means of a crystal, then such a type of the frequency it is going to be get generated. But the left arm is going to act as a totally capacitive circuit. When it is going to act as a capacitive circuit, then it undergoes the parallel resonance. When it undergoes a parallel resonance, its impedance also becomes equal to 0. When it becomes its impedance equal to 0, that means omega PL minus 1 upon omega P CS minus 1 upon omega P CP, and that's equal to 0. One step I have eliminated. Means this step. It is eliminated here. So to get it accumulated, we can write it 1 omega PL minus 1 upon omega P into CS minus 1 upon omega P CP, and that's equal to 0. This is the previous step. From that we can write it omega PL minus 1 upon omega P CS equal to 1 upon P into CP. Omega PL equal to transfer this term to the right side. So as to write 1 upon omega P CS plus 1 omega P CP. Take 1 upon omega P common, so as to get 1 upon CS plus 1 upon CP. Transfer omega P to the left side so that we can get omega square PL equal to 1 upon omega CS plus 1 omega CP. Perform the mathematical operations, take LCM, so as to get CS plus CP upon CS CP equal to omega square PL. So that omega square PL we can write it as this is equal to 1 upon omega C, where C is equal to CS CP upon CS plus CP. That is two capacitors which are connected in parallel. This is same as that of Colpitts oscillator. Therefore, we can write it transferring inductance to the right side, omega square P is equal to 1 upon LC. Taking square root, omega P is equal to 1 upon square root of LC. But we have omega is equal to 2 pi Fp. So therefore, 2 pi Fp is equal to 1 upon square root of L into C. Again simplify, Fp is equal to 1 upon twice pi root of Lc. Now this is the frequency when the crystal behaves like parallel resonance circuitry. But doesn't matter whether it behaves series or it behaves parallel, in both the cases formula remains same, that is Fs equal to Fp. Hence the crystal is suitable to generate the oscillations. Under this particular case, the crystal will start behaving as a totally capacitive circuit. So it has both the properties. It behave like a capacitor or it behave like an inductor. That's why you can use the crystal in both the aspect. If you use this crystal in Colpitts oscillator, replace inductance by this capacitor. And inductance by crystal. And if you want to use the crystal in a Hartley oscillator, replace the capacitor by this particular crystal. Because we have studied that crystal behaves like inductance as well as it behaves like a capacitor. When it behaves under parallel resonance, it behaves like a capacitive circuit. When it undergoes series resonance, it behaves like an inductive circuit. One can utilize both the properties either by using in crystal using in Hartley oscillator or by using in the Colpitts oscillator. Thus we can say a crystal when connected in any arm of the radio frequency oscillator, that is either in inductive circuit or in capacitive circuit, it resonates with the frequency determined by that particular circuitry and generates the oscillations in megahertz. So this is the behavior of crystal by considering its equivalent circuit. Obviously, it undergoes the piezoelectric effect, and to generate its equivalent resonating frequency, either Fs or Fp, both are equal with each other by the formula, that is F is equal to in general 1 upon 2 pi root of Lc, whether it is going to behave like a L or whether it is going to behave like a C. Dear students, this is what we can see the piezoelectric crystal and its equivalent circuit. But when we use this crystal in either Hartley oscillator or Colpitts oscillator, we can get the resulting circuitry as a Pieris crystal oscillator. Let us proceed further to discuss with Pieris crystal oscillator. Basically, the Pieris crystal oscillator is represented here. We are considered here a Colpitts oscillator circuitry which already studied, and we have replaced that inductance by means of a crystal that undergoing the piezoelectric effect. We have studied its equivalent circuit just now, and same crystal we are using in the tank circuit of Colpitts oscillator. Friends, that remember this circuit is same as that of Colpitts oscillator. Just we have replaced its inductance from here by means of a crystal, and we know the property of the crystal. It behaves here as an inductance, means it undergoes the series resonating concept. It generates the frequency Fs, which you already calculated. If you connect the same crystal in a Hartley oscillator, in Hartley oscillator, it behaves like a capacitor. But for our case, we are considering our crystal to behave as an inductance in the Colpitts oscillator, and the resulting circuitry we can call it as it is the crystal oscillator. Thus, we can say we are using the property of the piezoelectric crystal as an inductance to generate the resonating frequency by satisfying almost all the conditions of the oscillator. Now, this crystal oscillator consists of what it consists of? It consists of a transistor to be used in common emitter configuration. The transistor is biased by means of an voltage divider arrangement circuit formed by RB1 and RB2. This voltage divider biasing network adjusts the operating point of BJT in the active region so that it is going to act as a faithful amplifier. Resistance RE provides the self-biasing to the circuit. It makes use of RFC, that is a radio frequency choke, or simply one can replace this RFC by means of a resistance, that is a collector resistance, which is going to act as a load on that particular amplifier or transistor. Its role is it protects the transistor against the high frequency current and also it avoids the damaging of transistor from that particular radio frequency current. Capacitor C is going to act as an emitter bypass capacitor. It bypasses AC component to the ground. The frequency generator circuitry is known as a tank circuitry. that consists of combination of C1 and C2 whose center tapping is grounded, indicating that it is going to act as a Colpitts oscillator. Whereas crystal which is connected, it behaves like an inductance. It is connected in between output of the transistor that is at the collector, and part of that is given back to the input as a feedback. So this is the feedback path which is going to be gets existing. To undergo oscillations, one can say, as a being transistor is used in common emitter configuration, it generates 180-degree phase shift between its output and that of the input, whereas tank circuit generates 180-degree phase shift. This 180-degree phase shift is added via feedback path to the input to get the net phase shift as either 360-degree. When that 180-degree phase shift is subtracted from the input, then resulting net phase shift is 0-degree. And this is indicating that there exists a positive feedback, and this is one of the conditions to satisfy the Barkhausen criteria. By this way, it satisfies that particular condition. If you adjust HFE of this particular transistor equal to C1 upon C2, then internal loop gain of this particular circuitry, that is KAB, becomes greater than or equal to 1. The second condition also satisfied. Hence, both the conditions of Barkhausen criteria are satisfied, and a stable sinusoidal oscillations are sustained in this particular oscillatory circuit, which are produced at the collector and can be represented in this particular form. How this particular circuit works? We know the working of Colpitts oscillator. Same working it is utilized. Friends, when power supply VCC is applied, a small change in base current produces a large change in collector current that passes to the tank circuit. At the cost of that current, the capacitors C1 and C2 will start charging with the polarity upper terminal of the C1 positive, whereas the lower terminal of the C2 negative. This will continue till capacitor fully charges. When capacitor fully charges, as the lower terminal of the capacitor C2 is a negative polarity, it is connected to the input of BJT. As BJT is NPN type, its emitter base junction is reverse bias and transistor turns to be off. When transistor turns to be off, capacitor will start discharging across the crystal. Crystal behaves like a inductance. When capacitor starts discharging, magnetic field will start increasing across the crystal or inductance till the steady state has been reached. When steady state has been reached, the magnetic field will start becoming collapsing. When it starts becoming collapsing, magnetic flux will be converted into electrostatic charges. And the capacitor again starts charging with the polarity upper terminal of the C1 negative now and lower terminal of the C2 positive. This will continue till capacitors fully charged. When capacitors are fully charged, naturally positive polarities of the lower terminals are feed to the base of the NPN transistor. Emitter base junction now becomes forward bias, and again transistor starts conducting. Again small change in base produces large change in collector current, and it starts passing through the tank circuit. This process repeats, and when the impedance of this particular tank circuit becomes equal to 0, then the crystals start behaving like purely inductive circuit, and within that particular tank circuit a resonance will occur, producing the frequency f is equal to 1 upon twice pi root of LC, where C, it is a combination of C1 and C2. C, we can write it as it is a C1 C2 upon C1 plus C2. By this particular way, it behaves like an oscillator, and as inductance is being replaced by the crystal, it is called as the crystal oscillator. Friends, The crystal oscillator generates the frequency in a high frequency range. The different frequency crystals are available starting from kilohertz to megahertz. That particular magnitude of frequency is being generated by using this particular MOSFET. If suppose that you use the crystal of 12 megahertz frequency generated. Naturally, one has to bias the circuit accordingly, precisely. If you use the crystal say 3 megahertz frequency is going to be get generated. So entire frequency of this particular circuitry is going to depend upon the crystal which we have chosen. That will decide that particular frequency is going to be generated. Such a crystals are used to generate the frequencies, especially for the microprocessor, microcontrollers, to generate as the clock frequencies. But there it generates the square wave. It can be used in that particular mode, but now it is capable to generate the sinusoidal oscillations. So that's why we can say this is sinusoidal Pieris crystal oscillator. Friends, that's all about the crystal oscillator. Next time we'll go for next type of oscillator to be referred as the RC oscillators.